start that recording. Have you picked your pen?
What colour shall I go for?
Well, I've chosen today for you weird colours. Don't quite know where this is going to go. Not the colours I would normally choose for you.
Ooh.
I have chosen pink, turquoise, and orange.
I like those colours. They are part of my branding. Those colours.
They are. Interesting.
I'm going to go for well, I've got an orange and I've got like a turquoisey sort of sea green, so I'm going to go with that. Feeling those colours there because they look lovely together.
Awesome. Cool. So how are things, sweetie? How are you doing?
Better now. I'm not doing any social media. Well,
okay.
let's say, well, because I've started horse riding coaching, it's better for my head, so I don't have to think about faffing around with other people. People are actually more engaged and more interested in that rather than social media. So I've got certain stuff that I'm doing for the social still, and I'm looking at this, the social media management, because more people have asked me about it. So I just need to have a little look at that pricing, and then how I change it on my website and things. But it's inconsistent, and I don't want inconsistent. That's not very helpful at the minute. So the people that want me for more long-term bespoke coaching, so the equine clients that want me to do more for them, that's working. So it's not too bad. It's plodding along. Okay. But things like Blog Squad, I would say more my low-hanging fruit stuff, people aren't particularly. They'll do a bit, then they'll drift off. Then they'll do a bit, then they'll drift off.
Okay. So why do you think that is?
It could be, I don't know, to be honest. It could be that they just don't know whether to rebook or what to do next, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or whether I need to, at the end of a session, so at the end of a social media surgery or a blog squad, is try and get them to book on to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of things that I've thought about since we chatted last time, because you know, in the nicest sense, because you're very active on social media, it is easy to see that you are doing a lot of other things apart from the social media stuff, and that is not a criticism in any way at all. But I don't wonder if it might be easier for your head and everybody else to understand if you simply put a regular date to do, for sake of argument, once a month you put a date up to do Blog Squad, and once a fortnight you put a date up to do your social media surgeries that people can book onto, and if they don't, they don't, and if they do great. And that what that then means is, if I come along to, you know, my first Blog Squad and I do my first Blog Squad, you can immediately say, brilliant, thank you, Sheena, here's the date for the next one, get yourself booked in.
Yeah.
Because you did all that work to set up Calendly and all that kind of thing a couple of months ago. It would be a shame not to use that.
Well, I got rid of it because it was costing me money and I wasn't getting the return.
And what? Oh, come on, Sheena. What? Oh God, brain's gone. What sort of productivity software do you use? Office? Jesus, could I get my words out? I can't get my words.
I use Google for everything. All of the Google platform stuff.
So there's got to be a way that you can get people to book directly into your Google Calendar, isn't there?
Yeah, well, what I'm going to do is set up my Facebook page the same as my horse riding coaching page. People just use the appointments tab on my Facebook coaching and to book me in, and awesome. I send them a message back with my bank details, and they have to pay it straight away.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So I'm just gonna change the format of the tab settings and stuff on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then that will allow people, and then that syncs with my Google Calendar. Well, it's meant to, but for some reason it hasn't done yet.
Okay. I think that's a really good way to go, Jodi, dearie me, because you know, it will stop you having that feeling of overwhelm when you just think, holy crap, what am I doing? If you know, for example, if you know Thursdays, for sake of argument, no go, because I'm going to be coaching in the morning and then I've got commitments on the farm and at home, so I'm not going to do any social media surgeries on a Thursday.
Yeah.
But I am going to do them on a Friday, but I'm only going to do them in this space.
Yes.
So, you know, instead of going, you can book me anytime, is just going, no, if you want a one-to-one with me, social media surgery, then these are the slots I have available each week, or however often you decide to do it. And when they're gone, they're gone. And I think that if you market them that way, when they are gone, sorry, I'm scribbling, they're gone, I think you'll probably get better pickup when you are networking, because you could drop the booking link directly into the chat window. It's that whole thing that Stefan talked about right at the beginning of lockdown.
Yeah,
you know,
show them the till.
Show them the till. That's it. Make it easy for them to find the till when they're ready to buy. And that is one of the things that I have seen has made a huge difference with my free taster sessions, because I drop the link straight into the chat. People are booking them there and then.
Yeah, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the same with my 40 seconds, get your 40 seconds right coaching. I put the link in the chat window. Generally speaking, at least one person will book one. And, what's nice about that for me is, that pays for the cost of the meeting, if you see what I mean. And just think, great, okay, even if only one person books a 40-second coaching session and it's only £7.50, but it's like, okay, that £7.50 I wouldn't have got if I haven't have made that link really, really easy. And I think if you make your social media one-to-one stuff sound super duper exclusive, I only offer, for sake of argument, I only offer 4 sessions a week. When they're gone, they're gone. You can book yours here.
And it probably would be 4, actually.
Yeah. And then then you know what you need to do. And and if you look on a Sunday night, for example, and you think, okay, well, Sheena's booked one on Wednesday and I haven't got any others booked this week. Okay, fine. Do I want to jump onto a couple of networking meetings on Monday and Tuesday to try and sell a couple?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I going to fill that space with a bit more horse riding coaching? It will just give you a little bit more clarity and control, I think, and stop you feeling like you need to be spinning all the plates all the time.
No, I'm sorry, I'm like a blooming broken record, aren't I?
No, I don't think you are a broken record at all, because it's, I think one of the things that we're all trying to do at the moment is work out what the bloody hell's going on. And,
that's what it feels like on a daily basis.
Yeah,
it does. Stressful.
When I first started doing the webinars, couldn't get people, but people were booking on them all the time. Can't shift them for love nor money at the moment. And so it's like, okay, well, why is that? Is it just that we've got past that first sort of 6 weeks of, basically, holy fuck, what's going on?
Yeah.
And people are starting to settle into a routine, and so they're doing that rather than looking at the whole, what do I need to do next?
And I think the online world is absolutely flooded with stuff.
Yeah.
People are getting so many emails, so many webinar, invites to various things, so much networking. I'm being very tunnel vision with networking as well. I'm like, no, I'm only for networking. I know I could network everywhere else, but I just would spread myself thin and I'd not get anything out of it. It's just too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I've had a couple of people go, oh, come to BizNet, come to blah. And it's like, no, after the end of this month, I have absolutely no intention of going to every meeting that I host. And that's for 2 reasons. One, Zoom fatigue is a real thing. If I've done, if I've done 2 meetings, Wednesday mornings, for example, Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon, by the time I've done those 2 meetings, I'm knackered.
It's a good chunk of your day gone, isn't it? Because it's not that you just jump on at the time. You've got to be ready sort of 15 minutes before, really, and then the sort of 15 minutes after you're doing stuff. So it's really at least 2 hours. And so that's 4 hours a day gone.
It is. And, and although thankfully, there's no commute and all that kind of thing,
Mm.
it is still thinking, okay, well, I then block out the bit in between the meetings so I can get on and do some work. And I try not to coach then, because, otherwise I'm doing the whole, showtime meeting. And then, right, okay, hang on, reset, coaching. And then, oh, okay, again, here we go. It's showtime, and it's just exhausting.
Yeah,
But
it's hard.
But the other reason that I will not be going to all of my hosted meetings is, of course, if I do that, I'm not going anywhere else for that reason. And, one of the things to recognize about how our networking has changed online are the far wider reaching opportunities that are out there by going to different groups that you wouldn't normally go to.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think probably at the moment, my view is that we've sort of hit a bit of a trough, in that people are waiting.
Yeah.
Because Boris made the statement of, we are going to look at relaxing some of the lockdown conditions, as you well know, because we were both fairly active about this over that weekend. The majority of the great unwashed who don't engage their brain cells at the best of times thought that meant they could do whatever they like.
Oh yes.
So I think there's an element in the business world right now where people are going, I'm just going to hold off for a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's fine. I mean, hold off, as if that's what you want to do. You're going to be holding off for quite a long time. And that realization will come out fairly soon. I think whenever the next prime ministerial announcement is, which will basically be, well, you fucked that up, didn't you?
Yeah. Royally.
That there'll be a bit of a reset. So no, I don't think you're a broken record. I think you are, like all of us, just sort of stuck in this holding pattern of, the majority of my business was working just fine before lockdown. Then I had to bring it online when I decided I didn't want to, but now I've had to. And and it's just adjusting to that. And I think the other big question for you is, do you actually really want to do it anymore?
I have this every week. Every week I'm like, there's certain aspects of it I really get my teeth into and I love. But I feel like I'm always asking for people, or saying to people, you've got to create content. You've got to create content. Yeah. And they just don't bloody do it.
So that is where I think there's two ways to look at it. If this is through the one-to-one surgeries, that you effectively go, okie doke, Sheena, you've come to me for help and advice with Facebook ads and some kind of strategy to start pushing your webinars. Great. Here are your action points, crack on. And then you just go, and the rest of it is up to you. Because if you're not going to pay me to coach you on a monthly basis or what have you, then if you don't do it, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
It's, I think that approach might help you just think, this is a 60-minute session where I'm effectively going to fix a problem, and I'm going to point them towards what they need to do next, getting a great call to action to book the next one. So, if someone's done a LinkedIn one with you, then, the next thing to do would be a Facebook one with you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then just step away. Because if they're not going to commit to regular coaching from you, then it's always going to frustrate the living bejesus out of you that they're not doing what you've told them to do.
Yes. I mean, the idea with the social media surgery 1 hour wonders was that people can pick and choose, come and go. And it just takes the pressure off me thinking, well, you're coming all the time, but you're not actually progressing, which is, I mean, you'll know this as a coach. I'm sure all of your clients, including myself, frustrate the bejesus out of you. Like, you've not done it. What do you just do as I tell you? But I think there's still this element of adapting at the moment. People are still like, creeping and adapting, going, right, well, that doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't sit where I want it to sit. I'm not comfortable with that. But this kind of opportunity's opened up. I may as well jump with that. Yeah. Still offer this, but let's go with that as well and see what people want. Because I think people don't understand how important marketing is right now.
Absolutely not.
And they're sort of fearful, but not acting on that fear. They're not doing something about it. So they're rather, going, oh, well, I'll just manage with what I've got. I'll try and sell something a bit different, or I'll probably go under, or I'm going to borrow like mad from bounce back loans, C-bills,
Yep.
or whatever I can do to make do until we go back to normal, which is fucking isn't happening. That is not happening. And that is not going to happen for, I mean, if you've heard about Cambridge University, this ain't happening for a year.
Oh, I know.
Cambridge University have said we are going online for the next year. We're having no lectures at the university. And that should be a precedent for people to go, wow, okay, so one of the world's biggest universities are saying we're going online for the next year.
Yep.
Hello, people.
I know. It frustrates me as well. One of the challenges that Ollie and I have got, of course, is right now, because I'm still in isolation. I've got a couple of weeks left to go before the 12-week period's over. And, it's fair to say that Ollie is not getting pressure from the squadron to go back to work. But as soon as I come out of self-isolation, there is, shall we say, a little bit more of a focused and now what? And we've just been talking about it, and I'm very lucky that I've got a good friend who's very heavily involved in World Health Organization, etc. And she's given us some advice, and that's great. But the advice, when you look at what she's saying, you think, this is the kind of stuff that people just aren't taking on board. She was saying Ollie will have to leave all his flying kit at work because he cycles to and from. And she said, and when he comes home, you need to make sure that you've got antibacterial wipes by the front door, so he can open the front door, wipe the door handles, take all his clothes off, put them in a plastic bag and seal them, leave those outside the back door, go straight through the house to have a shower before he even comes anywhere near you. You need to be somewhere else whilst he's doing that.
People don't understand the serious biohazard of this. I think because I've gone through things like foot and mouth with horses and strangles with horses on yards and stuff, and you'll know about this as well.
Yeah.
How you've got, at the gate, you've got a foot bath, you've got a big bed of straw that's got really high levels of disinfectant. Obviously, you've got to drive your car over it. You've got to walk in it. Your horse has got to walk in it. And every time you go in and out of anywhere, you've got certain kit for that horse and you. Maybe you've got overalls that you put on and you put on and take off and put on. And you do not touch anything or anybody or anything else until you're out of that biohazard, and then you get into new stuff.
Yeah.
But people just don't understand that. It's driving me mad.
And me too. And I think it's that whole thing of that also doesn't help with the whole what the fuck's going on feeling. Because
for me it's because I'm not in the shielded group, but I've got lots of people that I'm in sort of I'm socially distancing from them, but I see them that are in that group, and it really fucks me off that people aren't protecting people like you. And they don't seem to, that's just not going through their thick skulls, that it's not the ones that appear to be vaguely healthy like me or Jack. It's the people that that they only need a tiny bit of this virus to get through to them, and they're fucked.
Yep, absolutely. And that adds to the pressure, if you see what I mean. I found myself ranting the other day, at basically the traffic noise. And I just had to have a bit of a word with myself in the whole, Sheena, just, yes, it's irritating you that all these numpties think it's essential to jump in there, because to jump in their cars and use the road as their personal racetrack. So this isn't people having to go to the supermarket because they can't get a delivery slot, having to go to work because they're a key worker. It isn't that. It's the knobheads. It's the one who've spent the entire period of lockdown around here blatting up and down the bypass at stupid speed in their blowback exhaust. We have not seen a police person at all since lockdown anywhere.
Oh God.
And you just think, you know what? Don't put your head in the sand that living in a big rural community is going to keep you safe. It's not, when you've got knobheads like that doing it. But
it's the same here as well. It's just.
But it also, I think it is frustrating, and all of that sort of ties in when you're thinking, all sorts of different stuff. As a business owner, you're thinking, okay, well, right, now how am I going to get through this? And you try the thing that you try first, and it's a bit successful, and then it seems to fade off a bit. It comes back to the thing that you were saying a few minutes ago, which is so important, and it is so important, and that is the whole you've got to be marketing yourself all the time, and it's just not really happening at the moment. And I think and I hold my hand up for that. I'll sit there and think, oh crap, I haven't done that. And and it's thinking, okay, because we're still adjusting to the new way of trying to do business. And the social media marketing for marketing side of it, for me, if you like, rather than the content marketing side, was never high on my agenda when we were face to face, because I didn't need it.
Yeah.
But now I do. And and so then it's like, right, crap, okay, where do we go from here? Hence why I thought, I'm not going to try and muddle through this by myself. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what I'm doing with Facebook ads, because I've never had to do one. So I'll get someone to help me. That's someone being you. And I think it also comes back to trying really hard not to do a TAS, and not to try, I know, but to try and think about actually what problems can I solve for people, rather than bring me a problem and I'll make it up as I go along.
Yeah.
So there are some really specific things that you can help people with. It just depends on whether you want to do that. And by that, I mean, maybe for the next couple of months, you simply do the whole, I'm doing 4 surgery slots a week. You can pick and choose, you can come and go. When they're gone, and that's it. And then you're not putting the pressure on yourself to try and market something that, if from what I see from the outside in, that right now you're not super duper in love with.
Not massively.
Yeah.
There's certain aspects of it that I'm absolutely free flowing with, but there's some aspects of it I'm like, I'm going to procrastinate like hell on this.
And which bits are they?
Well, to be honest, it's the coaching at the minute.
Okay. So,
but I think I know what I'm having problems with. It's confidence. I'm having some sort of like inferiority complex issue.
Good Lord, woman! What on earth?
I know.
Why?
I know.
Why?
Well, I just like, am I even good enough?
Ooh.
Everybody else can do it. There's loads of people doing it. Social media. Why don't people just go to them instead?
Because they want to come to you.
Yeah, I don't feel very special or anything. I don't feel very, it's just the same old bog standard stuff that everybody else is doing.
But you see, the thing is, you're approaching it as the person who does it. Let's use the TAS analogy for just a minute. When she tried to destroy my reputation, basically, similar things went through my mind. Maybe I should just stop coaching. There's all these people that are, they're already doing it. But the thing is, it's just looking at it the wrong way, because there are loads of people doing social media, but nobody does it like you. It's that side of it, of thinking, okay, so if I was to throw that back the other way, walk away from the coaching for a bit, focus on the one-to-one surgeries that give you that sense of achievement after just 1 hour. I've just helped somebody with that. Check me out.
Yeah.
But get a little form set up in Google, so that when you've done a session with somebody, actually that's a really good idea, when you've done a session with somebody, they get a little link to give you a little bit of a testimonial, but you direct it, if you see, and I'll come back to that in a minute. And then there's also a link to book their next session. Coming back to making it easy to find the till.
Yes.
So you simply ask them maybe just a couple of questions like, what did we cover today? I'm scribbling. Hold on.
Me too.
What did we cover? What problem did I solve? And then how did you feel? It's something that gets people to just go, for sake of argument, never done a Facebook ad before, I've never had to, so we looked at that today and a strategy for me to use them. So you helped me work out how to put together a Facebook ad, which was brilliant, and at the end of it I now feel I can go and do it myself, and I'm absolutely excited. It's that, because that then is what you can use for 2 things, Jodi.
Yeah.
You can look at that and go, I am bloody good at what I do, look at this. Stop feeding the inferiority complex. Feed the I am enough complex. I am enough. And then also it's something you can throw out there in the chat window when you are networking and go, if you want to see what people have said about working with me, boom, there you go. Here is a bona fide testimonial from a session I did last week.
Right. Yeah.
And it really does come back to just recognizing that, you know, yes, there are loads of people who do social media. Yes, there are loads of people who do business coaching, but that's not what people buy. They don't buy the social media surgery. They don't buy the business coaching. They buy you.
Okay. Yeah.
And, you know, and what they see is, you know, bright, bubbly Jodi, who's, you know, just this bundle of energy. That's what they're buying, Jodi.
Okay.
Not necessarily the fact that you know more about LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, blah, than the rest of us could actually even begin to think about, and you know about the difficult stuff. And I think that's the other thing that sets you apart, is it isn't just about, yes, I can help you set up a Facebook page, but that you know about things like strategy, things like analytics. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day who, you know, I was saying, how do you follow up with people after your online networking? And there's a great long burble about wanting to build her Facebook audience. I was like, oh, great. So I said, so how do you follow up? And she said, oh, I connect with them on LinkedIn. You know, but it's the sort of thing where she thinks, yeah, I connect with them on LinkedIn first because I think that's more professional. And I just went, but you want to grow your Facebook audience. They're two very different audiences.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I only know that having been on LinkedIn since the dawn of time. And if you think about the number of people out there who are, you know, they're making it up as they go along, and they don't have the background knowledge that you do. So don't think about, well, why should people come to me because everybody else is doing it? Yeah, everybody else is doing it. They're doing it badly. People are coming to you because they want what you've got. That's what they want. They want a bit of Jodi. They want that to, you know, to rub off on them. And, you know, that is not just let's set up a Facebook page. And let's talk about, why do you want to do that? I mean, I still sit here looking at my KAPOW Facebook mind fart that we did ages ago, and I love it, and I've kept it on the wall because there are some great things that you said. There we go. So you said to me at one point, I went, KAPOW needs to spread out of the Shire, and you've written on it why. And then there's a post-it note I've stuck on it, which we obviously did together, that I've just written, be more Shire.
Be more Shire. Yeah, there's no need to go out the Shire.
You know, and it's great.
Shire is
and
the thing.
That kind of stuff's brilliant. You know, short arms, deep pockets, we wrote down together. Beat Taz Thornton. Why? You know, because because KAPOW works. It's, you know, maybe you need to do this for yourself, Jodes.
Yeah, probably. I try, and then, but my gremlins take over. I get so far that I'm like, well, I can't think of anything that's of value anymore. I mean, I think I just need to remind myself of the stuff I've done in the past and that experience, and bring that experience to the fore.
Yep.
And keep reminding myself that I was a field sales rep. I was a national account manager. I was a business development executive for, well, 3 of the biggest brands I can think of in the UK. So I just need to remind myself that I didn't just, you can't just do those jobs without being vaguely successful at them.
Yeah, no,
I used to double my commission. I used to double my income in commission for one company I worked with. I'd bring home more in commission than I did in my monthly salary. So I could only do that if I was achieving sales targets. So I just need to remind myself of things like that. And then that's not just sales technique, but it's, you know, working with and consulting with clients and, you know, speaking to them, negotiating, coaching.
And I think there's a little bit there where I want to say to you, you know, why aren't you doing that with your own business? And I wonder if it's a little bit that you just, you know, because you've got yourself in a bit of a loop about, well, everybody else is doing it, so is just thinking, no, you know, if you've got 4 slots a week that you've got available for one-to-one surgeries, you know you've got the skills to fill them.
Yes. Yes.
And, you know, and if you did fill them, you know, then it's that whole thing, how all the yogurt begins to knit together, isn't it? That, you know, if you filled, what, 4 sessions a week at, are they 20 quid? They are, aren't they? You know, so 80 quid a week, that's 320 quid a month.
Yeah.
You know, and all of those bits help to battle your other big demon that we talk, you know, I know you suffer with, and that is the money worries. So, you know, maybe you need to knit your yogurt together again, but using a bit of a different pattern, and kind of go, okay, I'm not even going to go near the coaching, because what's frustrating me right now is that people are not doing what they're told effectively. So I'm not going to give myself that stress, and I'm not going to give myself that frustration. I'm going to knock that on the head. I'm going to focus on the horse riding coaching, because that's doing something that I am more in love with right now than social media, and gets you outside, which I know is really important for you. You know, gets you outside, gets you doing something physical, stops you living in your head.
Yeah, well, I think the other thing, problem I'm having with social media is I'm not enjoying scrolling on it myself. It's so horrible on there at the moment. Still, it's the same, because it's just all talking about Corona and the miserableness of it all. That it's not a great place to kind of dwell at the moment. I mean, TikTok is an absolute sheer delight. That's absolute heaven. And I don't know how to. I really ought to make use of that for my business, because it's just so much fun.
So, you know, that could be the creative space, if you like, that you need to get those synapses going again. Is thinking, okay, if I want to work out how I'm going to get TikTok to work for my business, then why don't I do that and then look to monetize it?
Yeah.
You know, and right, I'm going to go off and, you know, find out how people are using TikTok for business, what they're doing with it. I'm going to do that in my business, see how it works. And, you know, if it works the way I want to, then potentially one of those 4 surgeries in the week could become I'm going to do a TikTok masterclass. Do you want in?
Yeah. I'm writing.
Yeah. But, you know, that TikTok masterclass, you know, wouldn't need to be for one person. You know, you could do a Teams, a Hangout, a Zoom, or what have you, and get 10 people in the room at 20 quid a pop. And if that worked, you know, you could think about doing a monthly masterclass that's open to more than one person. You know, you know the kind of things that when you look at people's profiles, etc., on social media, that you think, oh my God. So, you know, if I just think of one thing that you and I have done together is the Instagram bio.
Yes.
So, you know, Instagram bio masterclass, jump on board, here's a ticket. You don't even have to be there if you don't, you know, if you can record your session, you don't have to be there live. I'll record it and I'll send it to you afterwards. You know, here are the things you need to be doing right now to, you know, improve your Instagram bio. Rinse and repeat.
Okie doke.
So, and the reason I've kind of gone down that road is, the other thing I want to say for you particularly is, you know, if Facebook particularly is doing your nutting with people going blah 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 coronavirus, blah 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 coronavirus, or that kind of thing, change the dialogue. Scroll on by and start talking about something else.
Yep.
You know, I have muted, blocked, or unfriended quite a few people since I went into isolation for the same sort of reason.
Oh God, yeah. To get rid of some people.
Yeah. You know, and it is just taking that step back and thinking, this is not me overreacting. This is me recognizing that stress is not a good thing for me and my health. And, you know, the mind monkeys start to go on overdrive. So I just don't need to see it. So I'm not going to. I'm going to get rid of it. I was going to scroll on by.
Yeah.
You know, and if you continue to be a dickhead, then I'm going to unfollow you for a bit. And if you still carry on being a dickhead when I start to follow you again, I'm going to block you or, you know, unfriend you. Life's too short.
Yeah, I'm just writing loads of things down. I've written 4 pages so far.
Well done. Yes, I'm on page 3. But you know, I think that genuinely, I think for you right now, it's focus on the things that you do enjoy doing. If the coaching at the moment is frustrating you because either people aren't buying it or they're buying it and they're not doing what you're telling them, park it. Just park it. And you know, don't get stressed about that. Celebrate your strengths. You know that you have the sales techniques to be able to fill those one-to-one surgeries if you want to, and you know that little bit extra coming in each month will just help to relieve the money monkeys anxiety. So you know, have a think about rebooting the whole, as you said, the Facebook page, you know, how so that you're making it easy for people to find the till. But then when they have had a session, a one-to-one session with you, that whole, you know, really short, directed 3 or 4 questions about to get a testimonial with a link to be able to book their next session.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I've written that down because I was like, that's a nice, it's the circle, isn't it? It's filling the circle and then coming back, you know, topping up the funnel again.
Yeah. And you know, it's something, as I'm talking to you, I've written it on a separate piece of paper thinking I need to be doing that with people who are booking coaching sessions in the whole, as in the 40-second one. You know, have you thought about a taster session, all that kind of jazz. But yes, if you make that easy, then you might start to see that return business coming through a lot more proactively than you are at the moment.
Yep.
It was interesting, actually. I had the session with Mel yesterday, and she had a similar frustration, which I think is quite interesting, in that she said, you know, one of the things that was driving her insane, particularly with the 4M market, and this is also something to be aware of, is people were putting in the chat window, you know, oh, brilliant, yep, I want to order a cookie. Okay. And we're then kind of coming back to Mel, if you like, going, have you sent the cookie yet? And Mel's, of course, going, well, you haven't ordered it. Well, yeah, I put something in the chat window. No, you have to go through the link and order the cookie that you want and tell me what you want on it.
Yeah, like a shop.
Yeah, and she's having to do that 3 or 4 times in some occasions before people actually bother to do it. It's the back end of the kind of the lockdown problem, if you like, is that people just waiting to be spoon-fed. You know, oh, we're in lockdown. Oh, I can't do anything. Oh, my world is over. Oh, I'm not going to do anything. You know, I'm going to wait for people to tell me what to do. It's like, no, if you sit and wait for somebody to tell you what to do, you are going to be waiting a long, long time. You know, put your big girl pants on, make some decisions. 4Ners are quite bad for that, you know, because in the offline market, they were so used to being spoon-fed by teams in the whole, yes, we'll book you on next time. Yeah, that's not a problem, all that kind of stuff. That, you know, when we're sitting there in meetings going, are you going to come next time? And they're like, yeah, they don't book on because they can't be asked. They're waiting for somebody else to do it.
Oh, God.
But that mentality is a mentality that's just going to grind everything to a halt. So if you are selling into the 4M market, if you've got loads of different links in that chat window that people can use, you know, even if it's going to the same place, you know, where you're saying, you know, book a one-to-one with me, does LinkedIn drive you nuts? Is Facebook frustrating you? Blah, blah. Even if the link is going to the same Facebook page, if you're putting out there the specific problems you can help solve, it comes back to that whole line for the till. You know, there's your Facebook queue. There's your Instagram queue.
That's what I think I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's just,
and as I say, if you
yeah.
harness that little bit of testimonial at the end, then it also just gives you that extra selling platform. You know, if you keep, so there are 2 people at the moment in the Shire actively networking that, and I say this with much love for both of them, that are annoying the living bejesus out of me. So Hannah Long had a free taster session with me, loved it, wants to sign up to coaching, hasn't booked her first session. I've reminded her 6 times now. And every time I see her on a meeting, she'll chat me and go, oh God, yeah, I keep meaning to do it. And it's just like, yeah, all right. And Anushka is the other. Oh, I really want to book a free taster session. Okay, so here's the link.
Just
And
do
the
it
next
then.
week, I know, and that's what I'm getting at, is, you know, that people at the moment are just not doing it. So with Hannah, I'm due to talk to her today about something else, and I'll just say, you know, you're going to pee or get off the pot, because that's my way. You know, I've reminded you 6 times. What's the problem? Have you changed your mind? If you've changed your mind, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to sob myself to sleep much. You know, and with Anushka, it's the whole, you know, if you want it, you've got to do it. You need to have that little bit of mentality, and that comes back to making them sound really exclusive with the whole, there's only 4 a week, and when they're gone, they're gone.
Yes. And that's what I want to do. I'm like, I don't want to, you know, I want people to go, this is how you book me, rather than people saying to, how do I do this, or what do I do there? I'm like, just, if you want to book me, you have to get in touch with me, and this is how you do it.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, and I think if you have a couple of rinse and repeat posts on your Facebook page that tells people exactly that, you know, if you want to have a 60-minute surgery with me, it's really easy. All you need to do is 1, 2, 3. You know, you pick the day and the time slot from here. I'll send you a link to pay, and as soon as you've paid, we're good to go. It's 2 steps.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, 2 steps to book the help you need to do the stuff you know you need to be doing, but you're not doing it because you don't know how.
Yes. Yeah. And I've written some sort of content titles around that as well.
Cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them actually.
Awesome.
Let's write those down as well. Right.
And I think it's then also, if you know, because if you've got more control over your diary, then you are effectively creating more time to do the stuff you want to do, rather than the stuff you think you should be doing.
Yeah. I'm writing.
Me too. Oh God. Because all the stuff you should, you know, you're thinking that you should be doing, you know, it doesn't happen because you don't want to do it. So, you know, park the coaching. Don't even go there in your head for a bit. Just think more about, if I'm going to offer 4 one-to-one surgeries a week, great. Let's look at that, and let's start applying some of your sales strengths to fill them, so that you know you've got that little additional income stream coming in there as well. And then, you know, if you've got something like TikTok that you want to make work for your business, then go off and learn how to do that, but then think about how to monetize that for your business, and potentially think about this masterclass idea and doing one of those a month once you've got your head around TikTok. Because there's bound to be an audience out there that doesn't particularly want a one-to-one session because they don't really know what they need. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But they might look at something like that and think, I haven't got a clue what TikTok's all about. I'll jump on that for 20 quid.
Writing that down.
And then with the social media management stuff, the stuff that you put up in the 90-day success group.
Yeah.
The one question I have for you about that is the why. So is this the whole where you've had some people asking you for it, and
yeah.
so you're trying to put together a package based on a request?
Partly because I've had a few different requests, not just 1 or 2. I think I've had 4 different people approach me,
Okay.
not even through networking and stuff as well, saying, do you do this? And it's got to a point where actually I really need to formalize it for new clients, because I've got 2 or 3 people I'm doing it for on a very weird random mixture of it's very free flowing. There's just literally a random hourly rate with them that's pathetic. But for anybody new, I want to be very, very strict on, right, if you want to book it, this is how much work I'm going to put in.
Okay.
For this much content, and this is how, because also it gives people accountability as well, so they know this is what I'm going to do for that. I'm not going to be sat replying to all the posts, sat running your group, welcoming people to your group, creating loads of graphics when I'm not, out of hours or whatever, I'm monitoring things. Yeah. What I'm doing is your social media management with the content. If you want more, then that'll be a bolt on. So if you want me to, interact with your group, do some community engagement, if you want me to create graphics for your social media, that's going to be a bolt on.
Okay. So with that, I would say that part of the editorial around it needs to be what social media management actually is. Because I think that's where a lot of people have a really, really big load of confusion, that that there is from one end of the scale to the other, that they would either look at that graphic, if you like, and think, oh bloody hell, £195 a month to put a few tweets out. And it's like, right, okay, so let's explain what social media management actually is. It isn't sitting down and writing blogs on your behalf.
No.
What it is taking your content, putting it out on social media, and then what would be the next question where I'd say, and then that's the next question that you answer. Do you on this platform effectively post and run, or are you going back to them with a whole, okay, here we are, this is at the end of the month, this is your report on your one platform of how much that says, like 12 posts a month, this is your engagement, etc.
Yes.
I just think that, so having that dialogue around it, I think will do 2 things, because I think there's a danger at the moment that you'll have people thinking, brilliant, I can just say to Jodi, off you go, and basically be me online for £195 a month on one platform. And you get where I'm going, don't you?
Yeah,
I think you just need to be really, really clear about what that actually is. And when you say, when you're saying, this is how much work I'm going to put in. So, focus on the one platform element, so if you go for the one platform 12 posts per month package at £195 a month, this is what you get, and this is what you have to do. I need the content. Would you expect them to tell you where they wanted it to go, or is that going to be part of what you do, Jodi?
It'll be part of a conversation. So, for example, I'm helping Anna Richards with her Aloe stuff now.
Yeah.
Helping her with her Facebook page and her group. Now, what she's got, because of Forever, is an incredible source of graphics. There's tons of visuals, which is brilliant. But we need to make it kind of Anna branded. So Anna's written some content that she basically writes a load of paragraphs out based on stuff that she's got from Forever as well. And she just sends that over to me, and then I titivate it, and I organise when it's going to go out, what time, which graphics, and where it's going to go on the page, where it's going to go on the group, and create some additional posts that aren't just buy my stuff posts as well.
So I think you need to tell people that. Maybe not name Anna by name right now, but just go, let me give you an example. I've got a client who works for a well-known network marketing company. So, the brand is already established. And so what we do is she sends me some written content and I go off and do this. I titivate it is the word I wrote down. I choose the correct graphics. I think about where it's going to go on the group, blah, blah. I think it's just giving people that much more padding around what do I get, what do I get for my £195 a month? And, and again, if that roughly equated to maybe an hour a post, for want of a better judgment, that's 16 quid a post.
Yeah.
If you haven't got the time, or you don't want to make the time, to do this, then it's actually really affordable. Start here.
Yeah.
Because then you can start to upsell people. If you get them in on your basic package and they like it, then it's the opportunity to go, well, I could do this for you in Facebook as well, or what have you. You can start to move them up the ladder.
What I don't want people to do is divide that up and think that's an hourly rate, because there's so much more involved with it. Because it's not just, I'll sort a post out. So you just go, 195 divided by 12, and that's what it is per hour. And like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not just doing a post per hour. It's everything to do with, before I start, I'm going to tidy up your platform, and I'm going to work out through your analytics each month when's the best time to post, why I'm posting at that time, and at the end of each month, work out whether that worked.
That is what you need to be telling everybody.
But also, the reason why it's 12, and there's a methodology behind it being 12 posts, because essentially that's 2 posts a week, which is the minimum you should be doing on your Facebook.
Yeah.
Or the minimum you should be doing on really any platform. But if that's the most you can manage to sort of get any content out of your brain,
then
do that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But once, and I'm so old school. I actually have printed out calendars for each client. So if I'm looking at one at the moment for May, I've got it's just big square boxes of calendar, and I will split that up, and I will plan what the content is going to be for each platform on there.
Awesome. You see,
then I can actually show that to the client and go, look, so what I'm going to do is I'm dividing, because what I do is I divide up the content kind of topics as well. So for Anna, we're being very specific with one type of product from Forever for May, and then we're going to flip on, and we're going to kind of go upsell almost, or cross-sell to a different product in June, and just be talking about that one, and then in July talk about something else. Yeah. But with some clients, I might mix it up all week. If I'm posting every single day, twice a day, which is what I am doing for some clients, I've got maybe a topic list of 10 different things to do with what their business is about. So it could be to do with telling people about their business, and it could be telling people about their product, their service, what's new, any interesting news about that, sharing a blog, guest blog. It could be all sorts of weird topics. And then I divvy that up on a sort of a rota basis, and then at the end of each month I can go back and go, right, so which posts did well, and then I can highlight those and then do something else.
So what I'm thinking here, Jodes, is that all of that you've just rattled off as somebody would do who knows what they're talking about, is something that you need to get out there. And I think with the way that your time is at the moment, I think the best way for you to do that is in 2 or 3 Facebook lives.
Okay, yeah.
Rather than me saying to you right now, you need to write all this out in a blog, because in the nicest sense, with the conversation we've been having, you'll go, yeah, I do. And then by the next time we have a chat, it's like, I just didn't do it. I didn't have time. It's like, okay, get it out there on video. What's it all about? Why should you come to Jodi Shanahan for your social media management? What does social media management actually mean? I'm going to do 3 short Facebook lives that just explain how I do it and what you get from me when you want to work with me, and just talk about the service, and then do the classic, if you'd like to find out how I could, how easy it is to work with me. Decide what your call to action is. Either have a link where people can book a telephone call with you, or, you know, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to get in touch with you by email or that kind of thing? But I think that would be so much easier for you to produce than written content right now. And of course, it's giving people a taste of Jodi.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way of doing it, because, you know, as you were explaining it, that made so much more sense. And I know that you put the graphic in that group in the whole "what do you think?" and it's just like, you know, but you just think this is brilliant. I love this. Now that I have a clearer idea of what social media management is, I think people will find it easier to engage with it.
Yes. And it's not that if people haven't got much content, and that if they're struggling with it, it's not that I won't go, well, I won't help you, but they will have to fit into a kind of an industry that I am more savvy with.
Yeah.
So it will have to be a subject matter that I'm comfortable with, and they're comfortable that I'm going to be able to share their brand effectively, you know, by sharing content. Because the most frustrating thing, I think, for people that are running somebody's social media is running out of content, them saying, well, you know my business, you put something out there, it's fine. You putting something out there and them going, oh, that's the wrong tone, or that's not quite right. And then you getting, you know, your ear bent by somebody saying, well, that wasn't what I meant. So it's making sure that you've got the understanding and trust there, that if you're going to put something out there, that it's the right tone for the person and their business and the brand that they want to get out there. And I need to feel that I'm super confident with that. So I know, for, you know, anything that's remotely equestrian or outside or kind of cottage industry, I'm going to be super confident with. Very happy to do that. And most network marketing, to be honest, as well, because I feel like I've had a taster of it through everybody, through 4N.
Yep.
Well, I know there's a couple I would avoid, like the plague.
Yes.
Like the plague, like COVID-19. So I'd be happy to just advise, but I'm like, no way on earth am I running your social media for you. And it is very limited as well. I'm not doing loads of people's stuff. Oh God, Sheena, I've gone over time. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine, honey. But I think that's brilliant, because at the beginning of our chat you were a bit kind of meh, and now you're a bit like come on then. And
yeah, you know,
and good. My job here is done for
I've
the
got
day.
6 pages. 6 pages. I ran out. I was like, I need one more piece of paper.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do in about a month's time, because normally I do all my notes on the back of scrap paper, and normally it's all old 4N placemats. But of course, I'm running out of those.
Well, it's a good use of them.
It is. It's a satisfyingly recycling use of them. It is that, I have to say that. But yeah, I'm thinking, oh damn, I need to start saving more paper and doing that. But yeah. So what happens now, because this is obviously Teams, I will wait for the Teams recording to come on through, and then I upload it to YouTube, and then I'll send you a link to your YouTube channel.
That's cool. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I saw you're booked into Terrific Tuesday, aren't you? So I will look forward to it. Cool.
Yeah, next week, because I was struggling to find any networking. I actually thought, do I want to go to that one? Because there aren't many Foresights.
No, I know
on the website.
It's a real problem at the moment. In that we're putting the information in, trust me, but whoever is responsible for getting it out of the Google form and into the website is a bit behind the drag curve at the moment.
And I do kind of like to. It is a big selling point for me, like what's going on with the Foresight, because I will not go. I'll not go. If
well,
I'm like,
exactly.
I don't really. So yeah, exactly. I do like to know who's foresighting, and I like to see what they're going to talk about, or get an idea anyway. Then I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll come to that.
So we're and in fact, actually, probably ought to give the teams a bit of a nudge to make a bit more noise about what their full sites are, but we'll pick it up from there. But yeah, it's all good. Are you going to book? It's a Friday morning. Are you going to book on for the first Get Your Grow on?
When is it?
29th of May.
Is that next week?
Yes.
Next Friday. What time is it at?
9:30.
I might
in the morning.
Be able. It depends. No, 9:30. It depends if I'm coaching or not. Because I've got a regular 8 o'clock Friday morning person. But so it depends if I get booked for the next thing or not. But I might see if I can. I might have to network from my car at the riding school and be mobile as opposed to at my desk. But that might work. I could maybe do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll have a look.
Cool. All right then, Treasure.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, sweetheart. Enjoy your weekend.
Well, yeah, I can't wait. I've got lots and lots of farming to deal with because, well, I'll message you because there's just all sorts of carnage going on with the farm. But it's fine. But what I'm going to do now is I want to go straight away. I'm just going to go change my Facebook and just change my kind of provisions and things. So I'm just going to update that. And then I've done.
And when you do, ping me when you've done it, because I do want to book a couple of sessions in just to get my head around a couple of things. So
yes,
make sure you send me the information.
I will. Thank you very much.
Bless you. It's a pleasure, Jodie. Take care, sweetheart.
You too. Bye.